Dale Sucker, Trader Boys. Crazy day in the markets here. Let's take a look. We're going to start with the S&P 500 after the stock market is closed. Futures are still active here. So we've got the daily time frame here, the S&P futures. We do have a lower daily high right here on the S&P, and big bloodbath today. But we recovered. We recovered most of it. All these zones that I posted this morning, demand zones I posted this morning, did fail. So, big thing that we put out there this morning. This week is a crazy week. You've got to be very, very conservative, very, very cautious, and you got to be trading to a very disciplined plan. Why? Last week before elections, you've got COVID cases going up like crazy. With vaccine news, we're waiting on. We're waiting for stimulus packages. And then the list of news just goes on. So extremely cautious this week. Very, very disciplined this week. So you've got to wait for everything to align. You've got to have the probability stacked in your favor, and then you can execute and then trade your plan. Expect a lot of movement in the markets this week. It's going to be a fun, crazy week. So here we go, S&P daily time frame. We came all the way down to the low here. There is a daily demand zone just below us here. This is a solid demand zone down lower. We could possibly get down there tomorrow. We did recover this afternoon, so we almost go back to the 50-period moving average here in the daily time frame, but not quite. If we break this down, we look at this on the 60-minute time frame right here, you will see this action. We came right up, right? There's heavy support resistance. That's what this purple dotted line is right here. Heavy support resistance, and you can see we're starting to turn at that right now. So there is currently demand below us, okay? Currently demand below us, just in here. You can see that long tail right there. That is generated by buyers. Now, we did get above right in here is a 30-minute supply area. So we did break above that, and we broke through it. You can see there's a bit of selling pressure here, dropped all the way down, right back down to the demand level, and boom, right on through. So buyers do have some strength here. Ideally, we want to try and stay above this candle's high. That's what we want to stay above. That would be perfect. So we're going to see what happens in the overnight session here. We're going to be having news coming out of Asia in the evening here, and then early morning it'll be coming out of Europe. Europe has had a lot of COVID cases. They're starting to shut parts of the country down. So all of that's going to have an impact on how the markets move and how the markets work here. So like I said, very cautious week this week. Jumping over, looking at the Russell. The Russell that's had huge and tremendous strength recently just didn't have it today. Now, it didn't quite get all the way down to our demand level here, but we can see just above that, we did get the push up. Now, on the Russell 2000 here, we did get above this supply zone, but only just. There's not a lot of strength here. I would have liked to seen a higher push right up into this candle's low. Would have been a lot more confidence behind that, a lot more confirmation behind the strength of the buyers. So that's on the 60-minute time frame. If you just look at the location of where we are at together here on the daily time frame, you can see right up into that upper trend line. This is the importance of trend lines. Okay, we hit that trend line and just plummeted. Here's the good news. We closed above for the stock market close, not the futures market close, but the stock market close is above the 20-period moving average, 20-day moving average. So you can see back here, there's resistance, support here. So there are institutional algorithms based on that 20-period moving average. Otherwise, the market could not change direction there. So closing above that is a sign of strength and confirmation. Buyers are stepping in. Big boys are picking up some cheap plays here. But as they pick up those cheap plays, and we'll see this in a second, they have taken on insurance. So here we are on the NASDAQ. We had the supply level in here this morning. I didn't really post about it, didn't really talk about it, but that supply level worked out absolutely perfect. We got the absolute top of the day. So that was the same supply level we've been working with all of last week. That same supply dropped this market. I did not post this zone today. Post every other one, but I didn't post this one, and this was the one to the penny. It reversed the market. Right now, the NASDAQ on the 60-minute time frame here, 1 hour chart, we're not back above these moving averages. Now you can see we did get above this candle's high, so that's an indication of strength. Again, ideally, would like to see a much higher push and a close near the high of the candle here. And this candle's not done just yet, but that's not going to happen on this candle. There's going to be right through here where this supply level was is going to be resistance. So it's going to have to work pretty hard to get through that. The 20-period moving average is going to be in that area as well. So we got a lot of work to do to get to the upside. So this trend line here has been heavily used. Resistance, resistance. Okay, pivot up here, support, support. So expect to come into this trend line, have some problems at this trend line, and we'll see what takes place next. There's obviously buyers here, right, that created the tail of that candle right there. So a lot of room and a lot of work for the markets to do. Don't be surprised if we go lower before we go higher. Right? Don't be surprised at all. You're going to have news hit the markets. Right now, we've got big tech. Big tech is releasing earnings. Right, so you're going to see the NASDAQ futures here as big tech releases those earnings. It's going to be jumping all over the place. So you got Microsoft and Apple and Google, I believe, all releasing this week. So this is where we're looking at the number of put options purchased over the next 3 months on the S&P 500, and you can see this just skyrocketed today up to the almost 34 mark right here. This is where the selling has come in history. So there is supply at this level, and you can see that took place today. They started to take that up as the market reversed, but you can definitely see as they were buying the low of this market, there's definitely some insurance coming into play here, as there should be on a week like this week. So if you're not a very educated, not a very seasoned trader, I would strongly suggest stay out of the markets this week. Strongly suggest stay away, sit on the sidelines, watch what happens, look at the news events, learn from the market. But I wouldn't be putting money at risk if I'm not seasoned or highly educated trader in this type of market. Okay, so next one here, gold. Gold on the 60-minute time frame is working perfectly right now off of our demand level right here. We did get the push above this pivot high, so that's an indication of strength. That's everything we want to see there. What would have been better is closing near the candle's high right here as we broke above that high. So close above is much stronger than a sell-off back down. But you can see right here on this candle here, this candle, buyers are accumulating here. So they keep purchasing at that price area, and that is 1901.9. So let's call it 1902. So 1902 on the gold market right here is really good. Now, gold is still in a downtrend. Right? We are still on the major pivots here. We're still in a downtrend. So don't get too excited. But we do have now a retracement, and we should be able to get some form of a liftoff moving to the upward direction. We haven't broken through a upper trend line. So there's not confirmed strength in this market just yet. So it's not something you just go run out and buy right now, because you could lose a lot if that was the case. This is Peloton. Peloton was one of the trades we put out there Thursday or Friday of last week. And when I did that morning session, my preference was for Peloton to come down to 117.60. 117.60 is where I called the low of the market for that day, and it came down to 117.56. So just another example where everyone says you can't pick tops and bottoms of the market. You absolutely can. And this is a skill set that we teach at Trader Boyz. So right here, beautiful transaction. We get involved in the trade on that day. Now you can see this morning, we almost got to target one, and it didn't. So we did go into the red on this today. Right? We couldn't get back out of the zone just yet, and we did not clear this high yet. So there's not a lot of strength here on Peloton at this point in time. But here's something to take into consideration from a news standpoint is as the cases of COVID increase and gyms are unfortunately shutting down, it's likely to see an increase in Peloton purchases and increase in Peloton subscriptions. So this is a COVID play on the increase. The other one we're looking at here, and it's a trade I got in today, and it had great relative strength to the markets, is Lulu. So on Lulu here, a big move up, hit the 200 period moving average, right? Traded down with the markets, right? But then it held as the markets continued to go lower. So this is a transaction we did get involved in today. It is showing great strength here. What we're looking for, close at the high of the candle above the previous pivot high. So this is beautiful. So there's still an opportunity here. There's an opportunity where if we can get this to progress up, come up into the wick of this candle, look for a retracement, and you can get involved in this at 330.65 as it drops back down to the demand level. Right, we want to see another big strong candle here. It may not retrace. Okay, Lulu right now looks very, very strong. So that's on the 30-minute time frame. So we look at Lulu on the dip here. This year we got rejected today at that 20th and closed below 13. So that's not too good on a daily time frame. But if we break today's high tomorrow and get about that 50-minute period moving average, you are going to see probably a short squeeze on this. and we get a good pop and a good run. And there's no reason why we can't get up into 365 area right here in the next couple of days. So really good looking chart. Now, if the market falls apart, Lulu's coming back down to the lower level here, probably back down into these areas of buying right down in here, and it's going to be a better opportunity. So manage your risk. Stop losses are always in play. And as a quick market update after this wild ride in the markets today, Dale Sucker Trader Boys, hey, we'll see you tomorrow.